right, guys, welcome back to Chasing Rangers the podcast, episode 10. It's a beautiful Friday night. We're actually bringing it to you guys from Zoom tonight, mixing it up a little bit. We have the Celtics tipping off in a little bit against the Magic. Obviously, a big COVID game. Some big things this week. The NHL kicked off, which is big news for us. Bruins started off with a 1-0 win. Let's go. Winning in a shootout. James Harden onto the Nets, baby. I mean, that's wild. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We got some coaching vacancies, NFL Week 2. And after you guys listen to this, we got Road to 55, Episode 2, breaking down all the matchups of this week. So let's jump right into the Bruins, guys. They start off 1-0. Marchand does his thing. Richie does his thing. Tuukka had a tough tipped-in goal to tie up that game to make it 2-2. It ends up going into overtime. We can't get the job done. Goes into a shootout. And Marchand had the winner, I believe. Mm-hmm. Hey, I just want to point out, as much as we hate on the man, it is nice to know we have Tuukka back. I mean, he's a Vezina guy. He's always going to be rock solid. He has a couple shitty games every year. But knowing he's there is kind of like – it's like having Veritek behind the plate. It's just like this like voted confidence to have him there. Even though he's a sloppy playoff guy, it's like you should win almost every game because you have Tuukka behind you. It's good to see they came out, they skated hard, they played well. How are you guys feeling 1-0 to start the season?
I mean, they're a little banged up right now, so they don't have pasta out there. It is Tuukka Rask is kind of like comfort food in a way, except it's. I mean, I think I called. I don't know if it was on camera or off camera, but I said he's like the Peyton Manning of the NHL, where it's like great regular season goal. I'm sure he'll have another like Vezina-worthy regular season, but when the playoffs come, we'll see what happens. But Marchand, I mean, he looks great. The Bruins last night, I caught most of it where it's like they outshot the Devils by a bunch. It was like 35-18 at one point. They're the better team than the Devils. I think we can all agree with that. But it's like this team still has a problem finishing, where it's like, and they're missing guys. Bergie, that was his first game with the C there, so like. Bergie's great, but it's like outside of the top line, it's like these guys still can't put the puck in the back of the net. And it's like, yeah, you beat a New Jersey team, but when you go up against the Tampa Bay, it's going to be a back and forth game. They just feel kind of slow to me.
Yeah, it's
the opposite. I think, first of all, giving Tuukka a Peyton Manning comparison is not accurate at all. Peyton's way better.
Who said Peyton Manning?
Kyle just did.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Yeah. That's wild.
Open your ears. Yeah, so Tuukka, I mean, he only faced 22 shots. So, I mean, good for him for saving 20. But compared to the opposing goaltender, Blackwell saved 35 out of 37. Like you said, Kyle, the shot totals was way more for the Bruins. I think that their youth showed. I don't think they look slow. I think they offensively they look very, very crisp. Defensively, they struggled. They let a couple breakaways. Luckily, Tuukka was there to make an easy save. But, I'm excited to watch them. I think, obviously, the first line is premier, and the others have to see what they can dump in the net. But, I'm excited.
So, Luke, defensively, would you say the bigger issue was kind of letting the puck get behind you and having to catch up, or clearing the puck in general?
I think turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers were just nonsense. I mean, it's the first game of the season, so it's going to happen. So we'll see how that progresses. But I mean, they let up 2 goals, but one was a tip shot. So we'll give them one goal out. That defense. They played well. They played a lot better than I expected.
It's funny because the Bruins kind of are the last of the 4 teams after Brady leaving to kind of go through not a full youth rebuild, but a youth rebuild. Like, obviously, Celtics cleansed Pierce, KG, Ray. Now we got Tatum, Brown, whatever. We don't have a quarterback, but at least we're going younger. The Red Sox got Bogarts and all them. Like, they're younger. It's good to see Chara kind of walk away. Hopefully we can dump Krejci finally and move forward and keep going with that youth movement. Ride Marchand and Bergie as long as we can. But, Joe, how are you feeling 1-0 so far?
I think Rask played great, to be honest with you. I mean, Cassidy said he had an excellent game. He had, 22 saves, and the last one came in 25 minutes. Stopped a couple of breakaways, right? More specifically, I saw his head more on a swivel versus just sometimes it looks like a statue out there. But I thought he looked a lot better. As long as we can make that consistent and not push too much on him. And with Marchand, he was another obviously big part of the game. He was only playing at 80%, and I thought he played fantastic. So imagine what he's going to be like at 100%.
Yeah, Marchand looked great.
Yeah, he's an animal. I mean, we're all excited. 1-0, great start to the season. But let's talk the Red Sox a little bit, the other side of the city. So, obviously a very quiet free agency. Chaim Bloom says, the fireworks stuff that we hear from Danny Ainge. Where are the fireworks, bro? I mean, we joked a couple weeks ago about DJ LeMahieu. Like, yeah, what do you got, DJ LeMahieu? Like, we had no chance. And then rumors were that he was interested in us. We were interested in them. Then he signed 6 for $90. $15 million a year. He's a 2-time batting champ in the AL for the Yankees. He's like slept on because they got Aaron Judge and Stanton and all those other guys. He's a 2-time batting champ, and we can't go after him. I would have given him 6 for $120. I would have given him $20 million a year just so he has a second baseman that can hit over 300. I mean, right now, Bogey's the only guy hitting 300 for us. So, like, for me, I think that's a big miss on Bloom, and I understand not spending positionally. And we've talked about we have the lineup. I'm not worried about the lineup, but that was a deal. Like, that was a discount. Go and get that discount deal that Chaim Bloom, like, harps on. So, for me, how are you guys feeling about that? Are you a little upset that we weren't deeper into that? And would you have paid him more?
I think the fireworks are coming. From what I heard is that we've been in on every active free agent that's been signed. So I think that we're pursuing, maybe not giving the offers they are looking for. I think Benintendi is going to be moved for someone.
For what?
I think the best is yet to come.
Like a replacement base.
Nah, what are you saying, that he's not like worth like trade value, or like, what are you getting?
Not based on his production the last 2 years. I don't think Benny's going to be moved for much.
Yeah,
well, we got to remember,
we
give everybody a discount on the COVID year. We have to. I mean, they had preseason, then it was shut off, then no preseason, and then a shortened season with no fans. Like, it was a nightmare. I mean, that was arguably the hardest season any of the pro sports have had to go through so far. So I like to cut the Red Sox a little bit of slack. For the most part, production was down across the league. So we cut a little bit of slack there. I do tend to agree with Luke. I don't know what the return would be for Benny. It's definitely not a premier guy, and we don't need to trade him for prospects. Like, we have a squad ready to compete. So I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Like a good reliever, maybe? A mid-level starter? What do you think the return could be?
For Benintendi would probably be, a decent reliever. I don't know if anyone's going to give him a starter, but I mean, like you said, the COVID year is sort of a washout. The year before that he wasn't that great, right? But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I mean, go ahead, Luke.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't care about LeMahieu. Like, good second baseman, great hitter, but we don't need hitting. We don't need offense. We need pitching. So I would rather spend the money there. I don't really think we can find a fill-in second baseman. Like, just get someone to play second base.
Like Brock
Do
Holt.
utility switches. Play Lynn. Like, it doesn't matter.
Dewey, he's gone. I can't believe he's gone. They let him go last year. But
Lynn's gone? Well, get him back. He's going to be available.
So I wholeheartedly agree with you, Luke, and we said this a couple weeks ago that we don't really need help in the lineup. We're going to plug and play a few guys, and I'm okay with that. It's just that was a discount deal for a 2-time batting champ. And that's why I was like, what the hell? Let's go get that guy. But, so one thing that Chaim Bloom says he's focusing on right now is the international market. And I think that opens up in a few weeks where you're able to kind of go in contact with anybody and there's no buyer's rights like it used to be with Daisuke and all that stuff. That concerns me, right? Like, Daisuke was a good pitcher that couldn't stay healthy and he was never great. Like, we overpaid for him, right? And then we had like Koji and Okajima. We talked about those guys. They were good for us. We pulled them out of Japan. And then we look at like Rusney Castillo, who we never even let play for us. So the international stuff scares me. Of course, when we talk about the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Japan, I mean, there are some superstars out there. The Chinese dude that played for the Angels last year, I can't even think of his name. I mean, he's nasty. The pitcher/hitter. I mean, he's so good. Yeah. So I just don't know if I have the confidence in Chaim Bloom to go out there and pull the right guys. How do you guys feel?
I think we can get the guys in here, like maybe Tanaka or Who am I thinking of? Corey Kluber. I know that the Red Sox, as well as a bunch of other teams, plan to watch him pitch to see if he's come back fully healthy. I'm willing to bet the Red Sox will make a play on him.
I mean, you have to. I think we're in dire need of getting some help in the pitching rotation, and it would make us so much better. I think Luke harped on it before. If we can get some help in our starting rotation and get our guys pitching 6+ innings every game, our bullpen won't look as suspect as it has been. Because we get some good guys in there. Like we like Matt Barnes. I'd love Workman back, but that's obviously too late. But we got to get some starters. We absolutely have to.
Well, the MLB free agency has been very slow, and I think that maybe that is related to the international time frame. Maybe they're waiting to see who from the international prospect pool is going to be picked up and who's left. So that might be basically the first domino that falls in free agency. So I'm excited for this year, regardless, sort of like how I was with the Pats. Like, we don't know what the fuck to expect. We'll see what happens in the offseason. We'll see how the team looks to start the season, and we'll just ride it out for the year. Like, it's going to be what it is. If we start tanking, we might see JD move. We might see, I don't know, even Sale move to get that contract off. Who knows if he's healthy and back. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch to see what Bloom does with his first year.
It feels like another gap year. It really does.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It does. But we'll see. I mean, a lot of talent still on the roster. What are you going to say,
You guys know how much money we're paying Dustin Pedroia this year? $12 million.
He deserves every penny.
Yeah, he deserves more.
Yeah, there's a lot of money tied up.
You know what? Dustin Pedroia is Julian Edelman. He wins rings. He gets all the dirty, grinding stats, but they'll never give it to either one of them because they don't have the Hall of Fame stats. Well, guess what? It's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Stats. Guys are there because they work their asses off to get there. They show up in clutch moments. They give you all, every fucking inch and sweat and blood, whatever you want to call it. They fight for everything. Julian Edelman's a Hall of Famer. Dustin Pedroia is a Hall of Famer. I don't care about stats. I'm sorry.
I think Edelman would get Hall of Fame, but for MLB, it's so different, like the voting and the restrictions on that. Yeah, so I hope he does. He's definitely a Red Sox Hall of Famer, hands down.
Oh, 100%. 100%. His numbers should be retired. I hate to say it, but it really should.
Yeah, I got but just to kind of touch on Luke's point, and like Corey Kluber, it seems like they're getting close now to signing him. Like I've been seeing like things pop up. Him and John Lester, I think, would be great, but who knows how much.
I know, and Trevor Bauer's still out there. I mean, things got to happen. We got to watch out because the Mets are jumping. The Yankees have been quiet other than bringing LeMahieu back. So I think the whole league is wide open. Obviously, the Dodgers, Padres, the Mets, they're going to be at the top, but the AL is kind of weak. I mean, it could be anyone's. I don't think the Rays will be back this year. So, let's move on from the Red Sox. A quick shout out, Theo Epstein, hired as a consultant for the MLB. And we all talked about it. I don't know what episode it was. We said he's going to be the next commissioner of baseball. And it looks like he's already taken that step. Rob Manfred, be ready, bro. They put you on notice. He's taking your job this year, next year. Who knows when it is, but you're out, kid. Good try. Let's move on to the NBA. Huge news. James Harden is officially traded. I mean, that whole thing crumbled down literally to the point that the coach was Silas, right? Whatever it is. He's literally told him, stay home. Do not come to practice today. DeMarcus Cousins is going to break you in half. And then John Wall is going to finish you off. But you know what? I'm so happy because I love John Wall. He's looked so great. DeMarcus looks pretty good considering, I want them to have some fun playing basketball again. But so let's break this down. Houston sent 4 first-round picks and 4 pick swaps to the Rockets. The Rockets got Oladipo. Then the Pacers got LeVert. Great player, great move by the Pacers. That's an upgrade for me over Oladipo, just positionally wise. Mm-hmm. And they cleared some cap space too, so that's huge for them. And then the Cavs got Jared Allen, Taurean Prince. Now, I'll answer my own question. Will it be successful in the Nets? Kyle wants me to answer this straight up. Yes, it will be, and I'm going to give you a few reasons why. Harden was pushed out because of how good Russell Westbrook was. They never really wanted it, and they knew that at some point it was going to come down to 3 guys wanting $30 million a year. And 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, that cap space was non-existent. It just wasn't possible. So OKC let Harden go. They traded him for really nothing, and they regretted it. But those 3 have started. Kyrie, Westbrook and Harden, Durant and Harden have all started on Olympic teams for years. They have 2 gold medals together. They've been to the FIBA World Championships together. That bond, and you can ask anyone who's done it, Chauncey Billups, anyone, that bond is unbreakable. I mean, you go across seas, you're dorming up together. It's a whole different weird college vibe. You can't break those bonds. Now, I'm telling you right now, they could be unbeatable, but I would not be surprised if it implodes. So my take is that they are going to be a fucking freight train just running over everybody in the league, except for the Lakers. But if it blows up, you don't have to say I told you so, because it would not surprise me. It won't surprise me at all. You know, what do you guys think? Success or failure, is it going to work, Kyle?
It's funny you say that, Vic, because like I kind of agree where it's a big if they could get to, like, they got 2 psychos on that team now with Kyrie Irving. First, it's Kyrie Irving saying he's going to sit out the whole season. Then, like, the next day, it's like he's excited to come back, and it's like, well, dude, which one is it? Honestly, knowing Kyrie, he probably literally changed his mind from day to day. So, like, so it's a big if Kyrie can work with them, if Harden can work with them, if they don't complain about shot selection, because all 3 of those guys want the ball all the time. And, you know, we saw this in Houston with Chris Paul and James Harden, and that didn't work. James Harden, we knew that was going to go out of Houston. That was like a ticking time bomb there. I mean, I don't think anyone was surprised when he got traded. I'm shocked at how much they gave up for him. Like they gave up they're taking a big risk on a guy who, and now these guys have been healthy so far, but that's not to say, like, what if someone tears an ACL? What if they get a Klay Thompson? You know, what if James Harden goes down night 1? Now you sold all those guys for big risk.
Well, I mean,
let me ask Luke about that. Yeah. Sorry, Luke. So what does this trade remind you of for the Nets? And did they do it again?
It's absolutely it's the trade away of their future again for a championship team. It's the KG Pierce trade all over again.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable they would do it again. But I mean, it's a completely different scenario. Granted, this is for one player instead of a trio. I just think that it's honestly a safer option this time. Like, this is the trade they envisioned when they did it the first time, because you have Harden and Durant locked down. I think Harden's under contract for the next 2 years, something like that.
Or maybe is this one in next year?
Okay, and then I mean, Kyrie's the question mark. It's they, and Kyle, you spoke of injuries. They do have a history of injuries. Like, Durant is coming back from the Achilles, right? And then Kyrie Irving is suffering from a mental health disorder.
That's he's got a mental injury.
So I mean, it is.
James Harden has an eating disorder.
And James Harden has. I mean, he has a. I don't even know what to call it, ego disorder or something.
Legs and eggs, baby.
Here it is. They have their team. They lost the depth they had. They lost interior defense with Allen going, which honestly I think is going to be the biggest hit to them. And with Dinwiddie down, like, you lose your secondary option with trading LeVert. So I mean,
you brought up that point, Luke, with the big men, right? So they have DeAndre Jordan, and he's going to be plenty serviceable, but they lost Jared Allen. I mean, that was a great 1-2 combo. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I instantly said, okay, maybe they call the Cavs again and try to get Larry Nance or someone else. What the hell can they give up? You can't give up any more depth. You had no more draft picks.
They did pushed all their chips in. Like,
they do have the mid-level exception, though, still.
The what?
Didn't they open that up? They opened up the mid-level exception?
Yeah, but you still have to give some sort of value, whether maybe a couple second rounders, who knows? But I mean, if the Cavs want to clear cap space, maybe they're willing to do that. But it's so wild to think about. Like, even so, Joe, answer the question. Do you think it's going to be successful or a failure for the Nets?
After everything I've read, I've heard, I want to say that it's not going to be successful, but I think it's going to be. I think Steve Nash is actually excited about James Harden coming here, trying to give him a new role. He's had the same role in Houston for years. I think working with the 2 top-tier talents like KD and Kyrie are just going to put him over the top. I just think there's too much talent for them not to be, even on a bad day, I still think they're going to put up tons of points, even if they don't play defense. I think it's one of those. I think it's going to be, as much as I don't love Kyrie and Harden, the attitude thing, I like team guys. I think as much as people might want them to fail, I think it's going to be an interesting experiment.
Listen, it's too big. It's too big to fail again. Like I said that at the beginning of the year, when they had just Durant, Irving, and depth. It's too big to fail again with Harden and Durant, and that's going to be the team. Kyrie's the question mark. But even if Kyrie comes back, like he was playing great before he before
good. And with Joe Harris and DeAndre, I mean that's arguably the best starting five in the league.
100%.
I mean, it's got to be. I don't even know how to debate it. So looking at the Cavaliers, so they got Larry Nance, Andre Drummond, Kevin Love, Jared Allen. I don't want to say the Celtics are in need of a big man because they've all been playing okay. Obviously, Robert Williams has stepped up. Tice is doing okay playing the 4. Are we interested in anyone there? Like, would we want a big man? And who do you want, Luke? I know I want Kevin Love. Kevin Love's my guy. I want him to come start the 4 big time. He shoots, plays defense, and rebounds.
I love Kevin. I love Kevin Love, but he's just so content in Cleveland. I don't know if he wants a championship. I would say Larry Nance. I would love Larry Nance. The way he
but
came
why
in,
though?
He's been playing
What does
well.
he fill for us? No, I really like Larry Nance. But what does he bring to us that we don't already have?
An athletic 4.
But he can't shoot, so it's like a slightly better Daniel Tice. You know
Robert
what I mean?
Williams is an athletic 4, is he not?
He's a 5. I mean, Robert Williams is a 5. He's undersized, but he's a 5.
Larry Nance can pass, rebound, and shooting is his negative. But I mean, we have more ball movement. We have rebounding. We have more rebounding. Even if it's just interior help, like he makes us better than we are. I think Kevin Love does too. I think Larry Nance just does it a step beyond, and he's also something we can continue to build around with the rest of the core because of his youth.
Cool. So we have the Magic tonight. We got great news from Chris Forsberg and all the other guys, but so we got Jalen playing, Javonte Green, Semi, Daniel Tice. They're all available tonight. No Tatum, Edwards, Robert Williams, Langford, and Walker. Funny that I was so excited for Naismith to play like 30 minutes tonight, and the poor kid was like, God damn it, all 3 guys at my position are back.
Back to the bench you go.
Hopefully he gets a few minutes with Tatum out. I'll give you guys my take, and you guys tell me win or lose. I got us romping the Magic tonight, especially with Thompson playing and Tice playing. I'm not worried about anyone on that team right now. Fournier's hurt. Vojtevic's been banged up. Aaron Gordon's been banged up. Fultz is out. I don't know. I'm not worried about them. I got us by 10. I think the number ended up going to 6.5. I got us by 10 points tonight. We're still rested and healthy.
Terrence Ross is going to drop like 30 plus on us tonight.
He does do well against us.
He's coming off the bench, which is wild to me.
Yeah, he's still going to drop 30.
Okay. Are we going to win or lose?
We're going to lose tonight.
No Tatum, we're out? Joe, win or lose?
We're going to win.
I like it. Kyle?
Yeah, I'm gonna go win.
Cool. So 3-1 winning against the Magic tonight. We'll reconvene with Tommy Points next week, and we'll find out if we were right. Yeah, so I mean, let's jump into the NFL coaches, guys. A lot of things going on. I mean, the Jets hired Robert Saleh, I think that's how you say it, the DC from San Fran. They've obviously had a very good defense last few years, up and down with some injuries. They kind of revitalized Richard Sherman. So I think that's a good signing by the Jets, especially knowing their offense kind of started working a little bit. So you reinforce that defense. You bring in some new offensive weapons, maybe Justin Fields, who knows. And the Jags signed Urban Meyer. I forgot Urban Meyer kind of retired from Ohio State because of health issues. So good for him. He's going to a team that has some weapons. James Robinson, D.D. Westbrook. Who's some of the other receivers they have? Man, I'm blanking on them. But
what's his name? Junior? What is it?
Chark. Yeah. TJ Chark. And obviously they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. So he's getting a quarterback that he probably recruited to Ohio State, lost a recruiting battle, but he's getting the best, the most highly scouted quarterback since probably Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck was a good quarterback. So it's the perfect position for Urban Meyer to finally jump into the league. He's got James Robinson. He's got some players here and there, decent defense. The Jags are an interesting team. I mean, I'm excited for that. But the Falcons, they actually signed Arthur Smith today, the Titans offensive coordinator. I'm torn on that. And
as a head coach?
As a head coach. So I'm a little torn, and I'll tell you why. They have the best running back in football. The north and south guy who runs through the tackles, in my opinion. 2,000 yards back-to-back years. They got a pretty good quarterback who he did revitalize, so I'll give him some credit for that. But A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, their tight ends have played well. They got some good weapons. What?
I thought you were talking about the Falcons. I was like,
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I'm talking about Arthur Smith and his resume going.
Okay.
So now looking at the Falcons, I mean, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. He's a good quarterback. Whether he wins the playoffs or not, his stats are proven. You got Julio, Ridley, the third receiver they had come up this year. They obviously learned how to use Gurley in the red zone. That was about it.
Yeah.
But they used him well in the red zone, so good for them. What do you have, like 16 touchdowns, something crazy like that?
Yeah, he had like 14 the first 8 weeks, though. Like, they did not use him down the stretch.
He probably had 500 total yards, which is hilarious.
Halfway through the season.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a great job. I'm excited to see that with that move. So we still have 4 jobs available. Luke, I'm going to ask you and you only. We got the Lions, Texans, Chargers, and Eagles. Which one is the best coaching vacancy right now?
Chargers, hands down.
Herbert, Allen, Eckler. You like that one?
Yeah, your offense is solid. I mean, if Eckler doesn't go down, who knows what happens? And honestly, I feel so bad for Tyrod Taylor for how that went down, but it was a godsend.
When he sues the NFL for $50 million.
I mean, that's unheard of.
Medical malpractice. Yeah, he's definitely going to sue.
Unheard of to have that happen. I mean, he lost his starting job, and who knows what could have happened with him that year on that team. But I mean, for the Chargers, they found their franchise quarterback. Herbert is nasty.
So I noted down someone that I had for the Chargers. It's Eric Bieniemy. He's the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. So he's been there helping develop Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Eric Fisher on the line. He's been a big part of that offense, and he's been studying under Andy Reid. We can shit on Andy Reid all we want. I mean, NFC 4-time can't even think of it. NFC
Eagles
championship.
Yeah.
Lost to us in the Eagles game. He's obviously winning tremendously with the Chiefs right now. I like an OC going there to continue developing the offense. I'd love to see them get a good defensive coordinator. I don't know who would be available, maybe a Matt Patricia even. And I know it sounds crazy, but they need to find a good DC to help fix that defense, but they have to focus on that offense. So, Joe, let me ask you about the Texans. Deshaun Watson, let's say he stays. He wants a black coach. He's already pissed off about Caserio going in without any input. Gerard Mayo is getting some buzz. Do you think he could potentially go there, shore up the defense, and then hire a good OC?
Absolutely. Casario's there, right? And he was the GM here for a decade or so, maybe more. I mean, I think that it all fits into place. I don't think that – I mean, Watson's not staying there, though, because he already said don't hire any Patriots personnel. So if they hired Caserio and then they hire Mayo, it's like, well – what I just say? They literally
so Gerard Mayo,
opposite. Yes.
Yeah, listen, me and Luke are on the same page. The players should not control the lead. They should not have that much opinion unless you're a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees, a Aaron Rodgers. You got to earn that clout. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. I don't think he has a playoff win. You haven't earned that clout yet, bro. I'm sorry. No. You turn the ball over too much. You're a phenomenal player, but settle down.
When I hear him called the Michael Jordan of the NFL.
Settle down.
Yeah, maybe on the Wizards.
So I put Gerard Mayo going there only because of the Caserio relationship. We always talk about who the hell is the DC of the Patriots. We know someone's calling the shots. Is it Belichick? Is it Gerard Mayo? And I mean Steven Belichick. We don't know, but Nick Caserio knows. And with Gerard Mayo getting some buzz with the Eagles and things like that, I think he could pull that trigger. But like you said, he doesn't want Patriots guys. So let's look at the Lions. They fired Matt Patricia. I mean, that fat slob, he was a decent defensive coordinator under here. But, come on, bro. He was awful there. And they had some talent, man. Marvin Jones, Galladay, Swift. They got tight ends, too. I can't even think. Hawkinson, Matt Stafford. I mean, dude, God awful. So, for me, I have Brian Daboll. He's been getting a ton of buzz, the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. Kyle, what do you think? What do you think the Lions need to look for? Are they looking for a defensive or offensive-minded guy?
Well, I think Stafford is gone, right? Isn't he up?
No, he's still under contract. They're just rumors of him being moved.
Oh, okay. He's a Hall of Famer, so that's a good gig no matter what. Like you said, all the talent that's there. Oh, what was the question? I'm sorry.
So I have Brian Daboll going there. He's the Buffalo OC. I think he came from the Patriots farm system. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, he did.
He was a Pats guy, like a QB coach or something like that. And obviously he's got that offense up and running in Buffalo. So do you think they need to focus, Kyle, on a defensive-minded head coach or an offensive-minded head coach? I say the opposite of what they had. They had Patricia, and there wasn't much of a defense in the Lions. I mean, they were okay, but not great.
Yeah, they have to start with defense, I think, if they're going to I feel like the Lions have been rebuilding for so long now where it's like they're always just like outside
They're a dumpster fire. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to turn around the Lions.
Yeah, it's like they're on the wrong side of 8 Mile.
They have a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they've had a decent amount of talent over the last decade. They haven't had the greatest coaches. Matt Patricia's obviously a soup sandwich, but I mean, they're a dumpster fire. It's
I have dark.
They might as well play down.
They let Patricia stay there way too long. He was done 2 years ago. Like
he was there 2 years.
I was gonna say, didn't he just join? He was done when he got there.
2 years ago. That team, they need to the Lions need to blow it up. They traded away Slay. Swift looks really good for them as a draft pick. They have great receivers, but I mean that team is nothing. Like they need to.
It has to be culture, right?
I wouldn't mind seeing Mike.
Yeah, they should. That's one franchise that should just move. Like,
you're probably not wrong.
Start over.
So I'm going to tell you a dark horse from that team, and Joe's going to laugh at this. The reason why I say a dark horse because it's the fucking Lions, and they're going to do what Lions teams do. They copy other shitty teams like the Bengals. Watch out for Marvin Lewis. He took a year off. Listen, he's a good coach. He's had some highly talented offenses for a long time. Like go back to the Ocho Cinco days with Carson Palmer. Right, those are his teams.
Telling him what to do, right?
Yeah, probably. But like he's had some high offensive teams for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to give the offensive talent to an offensive mind like him. But Brian Daboll is my guy. That's what I'm thinking. So let's talk about, and Joe, I know you'll want to talk about this team, the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they got 2 quarterbacks that are NFL quality quarterbacks. I would guess that Jalen Hurts, it's his job. Carson Wentz is asking for a trade, so he's gone. Let's assume Jalen Hurts is there. They got Rader, right? Yeah, Rader and Greg Ward and, some other receivers. Zach Ertz is most likely gone, but they do have Goddard, Dallas, right? Dallas Goddard.
Yep.
Who do you think should go there? An OC, a DC? What do you think's the next move for them?
It's hard to say. That's a tough team to turn around. They always have been. I know they won the Super Bowl a few years ago, but it was a one-hit wonder because they were terrible before that, and they're not so good after that. So it's like they're not like the Lions, like that bad, but they're not a very successful franchise in my opinion.
I feel like it's the culture. Like you're in Philadelphia, bro.
I could see Tomlin going there too. I kind of want
Tomlin staying in. He's staying in Pittsburgh.
I want him to move because like. Pittsburgh, I don't know if it's Tomlin or the ownership, they always find a way to shoot themselves right in the foot.
Listen, the one thing that Tomlin would bring is culture. Like imagine that culture in Houston if Deshaun wants a black coach.
That's a good point.
That could be, and he's built the defense before. Like that could be very, very, very interesting.
I will say, if Mike Tomlin brings in culture, he's going to say, look, I'm going to get you to the playoffs, and we're going to lose round 1. And that's what we're going to do every year.
Hey, it's one step farther for all of those teams anyway.
Week 1 of preseason. This is how far we're going to go, and that's
it. Yeah, we did 17 weeks left out of us, boys. So I got one name.
Yeah.
I got one name, and I'm praying to God. It's Josh McDaniels. Go give him Jalen Hurts, the weapons that are there. Miles Sanders is a stud running back. I think Josh needs a fresh start. He's got to get out from Belichick again. He was so young when he went to Denver with fucking Tim Tebow too. I mean, he never got a fair chance. He's got a quarterback there with Jalen Hurts. Who knows? Maybe he convinces Wentz to stay. I would take Hurts anyway, right? Right, Luke? So I see Josh McDaniels going there. I don't know why. It's a gut instinct. I don't have a ton of insight on it. Just a gut instinct. He's available and he's looking. And the Eagles know what Josh can do. They know it firsthand. I see Josh McDaniels going there, and I hope so. Please.
He's going to bring
give me Marvin Lewis. Give me anyone else to be our OC. Yeah.
Josh McDaniels is going to bring Cam Newton with him to the Eagles then. That's fine.
Thank you.
Take him with you.
Give us your third-string quarterback.
You know what's
Stop. First off, Kellen Moore is interviewing for the job.
I know. So is Gerard Mayo.
Dallas OC.
He's a
And
decent coach.
well, what has Josh McDaniels done except have the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL?
Yeah, but what are all
you
these
still have to
other
win.
bums done?
But you still have to win, Luke. I
Yeah,
agree
the
with
greatest
you.
quarterback in the NFL. You can call plays all you want. Brady's changed them at the line. They'll go over it on the bet.
But he still deserves just as much of a
Oh, I
chance.
saw this, so I changed it.
He deserves just as much of a chance as other coaches because they're just as much bums as you.
McDaniels had his chance to prove he was an offensive guru this year, and he fucking shot the bed.
Well,
listen, you're not
wrong. He
had
a quarterback that couldn't throw a fucking gallon of paint against a fucking wall.
Yeah,
like,
those play calls were horrendous.
Listen, it's a heavy can of paint.
Horrendous.
So, all right, so that's our take on the coaches. Let's talk about week 2.
Of course. Horrendous,
he says. So let's talk about week 2 of the playoffs. Let's just give straight up winners. We will be releasing Road to 55. We're going to break down every game, give you some insight as to why we think this team's going to win or this team's going to lose. But let's just straight up for the Chasing Rings episode. Winners, Kyle, Green Bay or the LA Rams. It's in Green Bay. They're favored by 6.5 points. Who's winning that game?
The NFL MVP, baby. Aaron.
Cool. Joe, Packers or Rams?
Rams.
Woo!
Rams defense.
Yeah, it did look good.
Is Goff playing? Do we know? He must be playing.
Of course, yeah. Luke?
I'm going to go Packers. I like the Rams defense, but Packers.
Yeah, I'm in on the Packers too. Let's move on. We got Buffalo, the freight train, and the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens played great last week. Bills are favored by -2.5 in Buffalo. I get the Bills winning. That freight train isn't slowing down.
I'm going to go Ravens, actually. Lamar Jackson, I'm a believer in him now. He took over that game last week.
There's such a bipolar sports fanatic. It's crazy. It's crazy. But, yeah, Ravens will win.
Okay. Joe?
If Lamar plays the way he played last week, it's going to be tough to stop him. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go with the Bills. They're rolling.
Okay. So this is the big one. Kyle, I'm going to ask you first. Chiefs at home. They're favored by 10 against the Browns. Credit to you taking them over the Steelers. Are the Browns going to keep it rolling against the Chiefs?
Choo-choo. Everyone get on board the Baker train, baby, because that train's not stopping.
Oh, he's sticking with it.
They're going with it.
All right. The dog pound is still rolling. Joe, Browns or Chiefs?
Chiefs by a mile.
Luke?
I would like to see the Browns win.
Me too.
If they call the offensive game like they did last week, they'll lose. They need to run the ball. Time of possession, my favorite thing. But Chiefs will win because the Browns will not do that game plan.
Yeah, I get the Chiefs as well. Just too much offensive firepower for them. And the Chiefs defense is good. So, all right, this is the big one, man. We got old guy versus old guy, GOAT versus GOAT, Hall of Famer versus Hall of Famer. Tampa Bay visiting New Orleans. New Orleans is favored by 3. The disrespect to Tom Brady. Who's winning that game, Joseph? You got Tom Brady or Drew Brees?
Earlier this season, the Saints beat the Bucks handily, right? Twice. It's not going to happen the third time. He's on a fucking tear. 38-20. It's gonna
point to it, Joe.
Don't even come at me.
All right. He's got the Bucks winning. Luke?
Yeah.
Bucks Saints.
I got the Bucks. It's going to be the duel of the History Channel. I would love. Oh God. I mean, I would love to see either of them win, but it's going to be Brady.
Okay, Kyle?
Yeah, this one I got 31-30 Bucks.
Wow.
31-30. I can't watch that game.
A classic, I think.
Yeah. I said it a few weeks ago, guys. I'm going to stick to my guns. I get the Saints winning this week. It pains me to say it, and I'm going to tell you right now as I say it, the Bucks are going 14-2 next year, and they're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, year 2 of Brady with this team and this squad, they're going to run it back and be even better. But this year, I think in New Orleans against Breeze, coming back healthy, Michael Thomas. I see it's too much, but we'll talk about it more.
Well, one thing I want to say though on that, I think this is when we watched last week's Saints game, they were saying how Sean Payton every year expects the Saints to be in it. They go far, and they do. I think this is the last season the Saints are together. The Saints. I don't know if Breeze is going to retire. I think he's going to. I think Michael Thomas might be gone. I think it's going to split up a little bit.
Breeze is retired.
We'll save this talk for Road to 55, but you could be right, Joe. So every week, guys, we promise a bet of the week. I actually have 2 this week, and I'll give it to you. I did Green Bay -6.5. I'm also, and this one's going to shock all of you, under 57.5 in the Cleveland Chiefs game. I think it's going to be a rout. I think it's going to be early. I think it's going to be like 31-17, and it's just stay under. That's a lot of points in a playoff game. The Chiefs defense is good. Browns defense is good. I got under 57.5 in the Cleveland Chiefs game.
I don't like those that under in that game. But luckily I didn't pick it. I got the Bucks. I got parlay with the Bucks at 145. Plus 145, and I'm taking the under in the Bucks Saints game. Right now, the under is 52, so I think if it stays above 50, take the under and take the Bucks as the underdog in the parlay.
Cool.
What about you,
Bucks
Joe?
under. I think. No, I'm going with the over.
Over
Big
52.
score. Yeah, big scoring
Cool.
game.
So my lock is I'm going some NHL action. I'm going tomorrow night, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, baby. I'm going Leafs, Senators. I'm taking the over for that 6.5 goals. Those teams are gonna be
6.5. Let's go. I'm
Yeah.
betting that too. Let me
6-4.
write that down.
6-4 Leafs are going to take it. There's going to be a lot of goals in that game.
It's the second game
Love it.
after no offseason. You're crazy.
I know, right? All right, guys, that wraps it up for Chasing Rings episode 10. Hey, boys, congrats. We're in double digits episodes. Let's keep this thing rolling. Before you know, we'll be at 100 episodes, right?
Yeah.
We'll see
All
if we
right,
get
guys.
there.
Guys, we got Road to 55 that will release as well tomorrow morning, Saturday. Be sure to watch it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Later, guys.